The Germans and the Indians, I would say, culturally, they get along well in a lot of things. They understand each other, and there's an influence from both places. For example, homeopathy is very big in India, and it's originated from Germany. And obviously, we all know about the German cars which are making a big transition into India. And my own family doing a lot of business there. In Europe, apart from UK, which is an English-speaking country, I would say the Germans get along probably the best among all the Europeans with Indians culturally, because I think there's a something similar, even though we are different. Same but different. I'm talking from my side, but there are a lot more connections now between the two countries, be it through the movies, be it through culturally, be it through concerts, be it through business, be it through political links. Indians are branching out. Indians are buying companies globally now. The acquisitions in the last 10 years, if you look at it, of what India has acquired abroad compared to what it did in the last 50 years, is amazing. Because the Indians know now they have the money and they know how to work it. And some of the biggest Indians in the world are well known. I mean, for example, our very own Alan Mittal from Kolkata, Marwari like me, just maybe 5 minutes from my house. He used to work in Pada Bazaar. He's studied here at Xavier's in Kolkata. Today he's the 5th richest man in the world. So the Indians know, and that they have seen that there are Indians who have been successful in the world. Not only Indian men. If you look at the Indian woman, comparatively, I mean, if you look at Angela Merkel, we think, it's nice that there's a lady running the country. But we had that in Indira Gandhi. It's nothing new to us. People say in India women are not treated equally. But then how did we have Indira Gandhi? Why do we have Sonia Gandhi, who is now the head, actually? Or Mamata Banerjee in West Bengal, or Mayawati in UP, or Jayalalitha in South. India is being ruled by women. If you look globally, you see Nouri, she's the head of PepsiCo, which is a massive company. It's an MNC. And she's the head of it, she's an Indian. When a foreigner comes to India, they haven't ever seen so many people on the street, or so many cars, or so much honking, or just so much hustle and bustle and so much color. And so it's different. And I think when you see something totally different from your lifestyle and you see another world out there, which you perhaps see in the movies, but when you go there and you see it and you experience it, it makes you feel, that you're at a special place. I guess that's the reason why foreigners like India. The fact is that out of, say, 100 travelers who come to India, 80 are budget travelers. And 20% or 15% are ones who afford a good lifestyle. So in India, if you pay the money, you can stay at a hotel which is better than any hotel in Europe. But most people who come here, they aren't traveling that way. And frankly speaking, when you're a student, when I was there, I didn't travel that way. So I guess that is what makes them not see the things, and then they form a different opinion because they see, okay, that's not in our budget, so they don't even go there and they don't see it. Plus in India, it's a common thing we all Indians know about foreigners, that you foreigners find the dirt exciting. And in a very cliched way, it is true. There are a lot of foreigners who find the dirt interesting, exciting. They want to go and see how someone lives in a hut. People live like that in a hut, But you go there, you go to the slums in Mumbai, Slumdog Millionaire is something which has been seen. People are happy, that's what matters at the end. Who are you to judge that, they are living in a hut, so they are not happy, or, their hygiene is not right. You're not doing them a favor. They earn a hard, they work hard, probably more than I or you would in our entire lives, 12 hours a day. And they live their life according to their capabilities. And they are educating their children. So India in 10 years would be different. But people want to go and see that, and they find it exciting and different, that, oh, look at the slums, look at how people live, they, bathe on the street. The common question there, if I was vegetarian, was that, is it your religion? Are there cows on the street? That's why they have tours in the slums where foreigners go and take the slum tours. Unfortunately, people have short time, short attention spans, and the glamour and the glitz. If you look past all that, then there is a lot here to see, because India is a peninsula with ocean on three sides, you know. It has a desert, it has the Himalayas, it has the terrain, it has a plateau, it has all the weathers you can think of. It's snowing somewhere, it's hot somewhere, you know, it's got temples, it's got rivers, it's got history, it's got culture, it's got everything you can think of. It could take probably 10 years to see India if actually somebody wanted to see it even, and then you won't see it. Hamlet to Ophelia, I'll draw a sketch of D. What kind of pencil shall I use? To be or not to be? Oh, it cracks me up. The first 3 days, I thought it was a holiday because I didn't hear any honking on the streets, which obviously we are not used to in India, even on a holiday. So that was very, very strange for me. In a way, it took time to adjust, which was my first impression that, you know, in Mercedes, having a Mercedes in Kolkata or in India would be a status symbol perhaps. But in Germany, it was a taxi. Different from India is that it's amazing how punctual they are and how they manage it. 6 o'clock means 6 o'clock, not 6:03. Even 3 minutes has value. It took me a bit of time to understand that, because in India, if you say 6, it means 6:30. And it's not that people don't want to be, it's just that the system doesn't work. So if I'm going to get angry with my office staff that why is he not there at 11, then I must understand that his bus, which should come at 10, could easily not come till 11. You know, so, but that's not an excuse, because you can take that into consideration and plan accordingly. But you must give some leeway, because you know that the transport system and the traffic and all these things are not in hand over here. And number two, like I told you, the language barrier, like I told you. So I was working with Behinderten and I didn't know much German, and we had a lunch, we had like a Mittagpause. So one time there was this guy who used to go out, and his name was Philip, and I was in charge for them, and I asked him, what do you go? And he's like, ich gehe for Luft. And I said, okay, and I thought he has to do something. And then I thought, Lufthansa, okay, Luft means air. He's going for air. No, he's not supposed to go for air. I'm like, no, you can have the Luft in the bureau. So, you know, sometimes they used to trick me because I didn't know what it meant, and I thought he had to do something important. I'm like, yeah, go for Luft. But on the other hand, sometimes it was funny for me too, because the young Germans over there, when they spoke to me in English, I understood that later on that they would translate it directly in their head from German to English, and German to English or English to German is not exactly the correct way. So after a night of wine perhaps, you know, somebody had to leave, and he would tell me that, okay Avadhesh, I go now, I have to stand up at 6 in the morning. And for a moment I thought, am I drunk, or he's saying he has to stand up at 6 in the morning? I mean, why would he stand up at 6 in the morning? You know, I mean, why? And then I understood what he meant, that he has to get up, aufstehen, stand up. In Deutsch, we sagen aufstehen morgen, but if you convert it directly to English, it means stand up. And if you say someone, I stand up at 6 in the morning, the English guy would think, okay, I don't need to know if you need to stand up at 6 in the morning. Number 3, I think, was, you know, I was amazed, I guess, by how much importance the language is given in Europe. Because in India, I mean, we have at least 48 languages to speak of, maybe 300 actually, 48 which are officially there. And so, you know, India is like a mini Europe. You know, you can just drive 3 hours and you're there, maybe, you know, if you live at the border, and it's a totally new country, new people, new language, new food, new culture, new habits. So, you know, you're in a different world. So in India, it's the same. If you move from West Bengal to Orissa, to Bihar, to any place, it's totally different. The people are different, the language is different, the culture is different, the thought process is different, the clothes are different. So India basically has, each state is its own. So there is a loss of the Indian language, which I saw in Germany, that the Germans really valued their language. Everything was in German, be it the newspaper, be it the television shows, be it the signs, be it the restaurant, you know. That was surprising for me to see that everything was in that language. And it was a good thing because it could unite the country together. If you speak the same language, it's easier. And obviously there is, when you work, there is no class culture there. I speak to my chauffeur or my house help, but there is a certain distance which you maintain, because otherwise it will not work and it will be too weird for them to work for me or for me to have them to work for me. But in Germany it's not there, because probably the social security services which any layperson gets, even if you don't have a job, you could probably get a flat and a television and pay 200 euro from the government without doing anything and sitting on your ass. But in India you can't get that, because our population is 1 billion and it would require the whole world's money then. One more thing which I noticed was in India we have a lot of respect for the elder. That's not that which is not there in Germany. It is obviously there. But in India I would not address someone who's even 3-4 years older to me without giving him some kind of respect in his name or directly by his name. But in Germany, my house father, 66-year-old Georg, I would just call him Georg. And in India, I would not call a 66-year-old man by his name. The Germans are very proud people. They don't ask for help until absolutely not required, which also I think is a little bit stupid, because if we can't help each other, and I think there needs to be a balance. In India, people ask for too much help, and over there, people ask for no help. For example, in India, if I was walking down the street and I didn't know where a building was, I would just ask someone. In Germany, you would not ask. The Germans would perhaps try to see a map, try to figure it out, spend half an hour trying to do it on their own, and finally when nothing would work, then maybe they would ask someone. It's a good feeling when you can help someone, even if it's a little thing. Everybody knows that. Everybody feels that. So it's not bad asking for help sometimes and spending 4 hours trying to do it on your own. New York, WTC, Tower, Flughafen, this. And I was like, New York? Okay, Twin Tower, plane, because I was like, what are you talking about? Is it a film or, So the Oktoberfest was put on high alert after that because of 9/11. It could be one of the targets because people from all across the world come and drink beer over there. And like I said, I was in the organization and we were like at least people from 6-7 countries along with these Germans going there. And when we took the train and we got there, me and my Indian friend were the only ones singled out for a security check out of all the people in the lot, because obviously we are, Asian. It did feel that, if they would have checked everyone, it was fine. But just to single you two out because you're brown and you're Asian and to do it, so I knew immediately that the world had changed. I like my house. It's big, it's nice, it's airy, it's quiet, it's got greenery, it's got mango trees, palm trees. I like it.